Hello everybody, my name's Chef Julie Walsh from the Cordon Bleu London, and today I'm joined by two of my wonderful alumni, and we'll be learning to cook one of our new inspiration dishes, which is taken from our Pastry Innovation program, and also some of the elements from our Plant-Based Pastry program, which is running in London. So we have two alumni. Do you want to introduce yourselves, please?
Sure.
Hi, I'm Chef Tanisha. I started with Chef Julie back in 2016 in Le Cordon Bleu London, and I'm currently running a plant-based and a vegan and an eggless bakery in Calcutta. And I'm just really excited to join Chef Julie for this demonstration today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Arsh Lakmani, co-founder of Coco Bakery, Kolkata. And I had the privilege to learn from Le Cordon Bleu in 2017. I'm thrilled to see and meet Chef after so long and can't wait to get started.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Quite a few more grey hairs.
Yes.
A lot of experience under the belt, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Good. Okay, so our dish today is, as we said, it's a modern take on plant-based patisserie. And when we talk about our innovation program, we talk about areas of innovation in ingredients and innovation in technique and innovation in processes. So traditionally, if we were making this kind of set cream, we would use gelatin. Right. Obviously, if we wanted to make that plant-based and more adaptable to the modern market, we wouldn't want to include gelatin. We'd want to look at some other kind of setting agent. So today we're using a product called iota, and the iota is mixed with sugar. Okay, so it's a powder. It's part of the carrageenan family. Okay, so sometimes it's called iota carrageenan, sometimes it's called iota, but it's always part of the carrageenan family, which is a type of seaweed. Okay, so it is fully plant-based. We always dissolve it in sugar because it's much easier for us to manipulate it once we get it into our liquid. In this instance, our liquid is unsweetened almond milk. Okay, and the almond milk, we're just going to bring that up to steaming, so about 40 degrees. Into that, we're going to add our flavour. So we're using some fresh grated ginger. Okay, you could use spices. If you wanted to put spice in, that would work as well. But ginger is nice and fresh and it cleans the palate. We're going to give a short infusion for this. We don't want it to be in there too long because it will get quite pungent and overpowering.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to just add that in. So I brought my milk to steaming. I'm going to add in my ginger mix. Give it a little stir. And then we're just going to allow that to cool down. So we'll just leave it for a few minutes to infuse or to steep, however you want to call it. And I just like to cover that with a towel just to keep the heat in. Okay, or some cling film will work. I've got a little bit of extra unsweetened almond milk because what I'm going to do next is pass this to get the fibre. So although we want the taste of ginger, we don't want that fibrous texture. We want it to be smooth and creamy on the palate.
Right.
So we're going to pass it through a fine sieve, which I've got ready, and we're going to use that in just a few minutes. Okay. This will take maybe 5 minutes just to infuse, and then we can pass it and carry on. At that point, we're going to add in our carrageenan. We're going to whisk that through, and then that goes straight into our setting receptacle, whatever that's going to be. In the interim, I'm going to toast some nuts ready for my clusters. Okay, so I'm going to bring that one up. Okay, so to go with our creamy texture, we want some crunch. Okay, so a good plated dessert always has a balance of crisp, crunchy, creamy, smooth. So we're adding some crunch. I'm going to do that with some nuts. So in our pan, we're going to toast our almonds. We're going to toast some puffed quinoa, okay, to give us some flavour. We've also got some fennel, a little bit of fennel seed, which is quite nice. It's nice and green. Smells good. Smells better in a minute once we've toasted it.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to use a little bit of, this is called bee pollen. Have you used bee pollen before?
No, not really.
Here we are, have a taste. Have a little taste. Okay, so if you're not vegan, are you? You're vegetarian.
Yeah.
Just checking. Our vegan colleagues do not like to eat this because it is an animal byproduct. Okay, so
Correct.
So we've robbed the bees of their food source and then we use it. So they really don't like it.
It's good.
So it's got a sweetness to it. It does have a
quite
distinctive
distinctive.
flavour.
Yes.
But it's interesting, and it works really well with fennel. It just lifts that flavour so much. So I'm going to first of all just roast off my nuts. Just pop that together. Let's have that ready. So I was checking this morning, that the coconut oil would set in the fridge, because in the UK, all our coconut oil sets. It's very hard and it's very white. And when you gave it to me this morning, it was a very clear liquid, and I'm like, are you sure that that's? So I tested it and put it in the fridge, and then it set. So absolutely, is that coconut oil. So we're going to give that a little mix. I'm going to add that. Yeah, I can smell it. It's nice and sweet. Fennel seeds. We're going to add those in. We should get some nice flavours coming. We're also going to add in some of these little wafers. So these are called feuilletine wafers. Okay, and in France they're very popular for adding crunch.
Correct.
So the thing with these is, if you put them into a fat-based product, they stay crunchy. All right. If you put it into a water-based product, they absorb water. So we're lucky today because we're going to actually bind ours with some chocolate, and that's obviously fat-based, so that's going to help us with that flavouring. These ones, I made these, they're eggless. The ones you buy commercially have egg.
Correct.
Have you had these that are eggless?
Yes.
Yeah. In Europe, they're a little bit harder to come by. Okay. Eggless. So I made these. So in essence, what they are is it's like a pancake or a crepe batter that's dehydrated. You can see mine are a bit chunkier than the regular ones.
Yes, it's crispier than the ones we've been.
Yeah.
Slightly more thicker.
Yeah. So if you wanted to make that yourself, it literally is flour, a little bit of sugar, a bit of milk, and you just a liquid paste on the bottom of your fry pan, and then just let it dehydrate. Once it's cooked all the way through, nice and golden, then you can turn it out and let it just break it up.
So what would replace the egg white in the traditional?
Well, to be fair, I've used what I call a lean batter.
Okay.
So I've used flour, pinch of sugar, little bit of salt, and then a liquid.
Okay.
So for me, I used almond milk.
Okay.
So in a traditional crepe batter, you would use an egg.
Correct.
But it works just as well with any of the liquids. As long as it's got a tiny bit of fat in there, it's fine.
What would be the ideal temperature to? You said you need to dehydrate it and not bake it.
Well, I cook it in a pan like this. So all I'm looking for is it's got a good golden brown colour all the way over. And you want it to be thin enough so it can actually cool down pretty quickly and cook pretty quickly. So as long as you're not overdoing the temperature and it burns. You can smell now the fennel starting to come through.
Yes.
Yeah? It's quite strong. I don't mind fennel, but it is...
Chef, is it like, do you use it very often, fennel seeds in Britain as well, or because it's an Indian thing to use?
Well, I've tried to make my desserts as a kind of marriage of both. A little bit of French cuisine, a little bit of English thrown in there as well because of the bee pollen, and a little bit of Indian spiciness. But yeah, fennel is one of those great pairings. Fennel, almonds, delicious.
Yeah.
Okay. Fennel, so anything toasty that has that flavour, fabulous, really good. These are delicious. They're in fact, while we were testing this recipe, I did a big batch of this because I wanted to test the size and everything else. And I came back after a break and 90% of what I'd put out had finished. And I was like, where did they all go? So I counted them before I left, and then suddenly I only had 10. It's like, okay. So they are very Moorish, and these are a great little gift if you wanted to make something for your family.
Right.
Little nibbles. Okay, so they're starting to toast. You can go as dark as you want with this. I'm just being very careful not to burn the fennel. Okay, and I can see it's starting to get nice and toasty. So I'm going to turn that out. Put that onto there. Cool it down. I want it to cool quickly. In the same pan to pick up the oils, I'm going to put my quinoa. And I'm just going to re-toast this just because I want to take on some of the oil from the nuts. It's been in the pan. A little bit more flavour. And this just helps to keep your quinoa nice and crunchy. Puff quinoa, popular here or not?
Yeah,
Sort of, not as much, but it is.
The healthy section is doing well.
Coming out with that, still on.
It's one of those things that, unless you know about it, you've tried it, you don't appreciate what you can do with it. So a lot of, especially in the UK, this is labelled a health food.
Correct.
It's not necessarily a health food if you put a ton of sugar on it, which tends to be what happens.
Yes.
So, you need to be mindful of that. But just toasting it should bring a little bit of flavour. If you want to try it, it's a little bit warm, so be careful. Okay, hopefully it's crispy. And it might have taken on a bit of that flavouring.
That bit more.
Yeah, it's not
it
crispy
needs
yet.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
You can smell.
Yeah.
The nose is a great thing. You'll smell the change. Okay, just like this, I could smell the fennel was starting to stop, to get a little bit too much. So I took it off.
Correct.
And if you have fennel in the store cupboard, you always toast it before you use it. Otherwise, it's stale.
Yeah.
It's not got a good flavour. There we go. So it's coming along. Just checking for temperature. A little bit more. I don't want to go mad. I don't want to burn it because it's very, very bitter when it's burnt. A little bit crunchy now.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it in hot taste.
Give you another taste if you want.
Yeah.
Don't want to burn you with my hot spoon.
We're used to this. We work in the powders of kitchen.
We don't torture you with hot spoons though, do we? Come on now. Okay. Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think it's going to cook by itself also because of the heat. So.
There we go. All right, so we're going to leave that there. And while that's doing its thing, I'm going to put my oil for my cream. So these need to cool down. So what we're going to do is we're going to spread them out. Give it a little bit of space. I'm going to add in the bee pollen. I don't usually cook the bee pollen, but a little bit of warmth helps. Add the crisps in. And if you find that these have gone soft because of humidity, just pop those in the pan with the quinoa.
Okay.
Let's mix that in. And that's my little cluster mix. You can't really see that with that in the way. That's my little cluster mix. That's going to cool down fairly quickly. So I'm going to just leave it there for... Let's see how we're getting on here. So while that's cooling, I'm switching back. How long do you think that's had? 10 minutes yet or not?
7, 8 minutes.
7 or 8, okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Chef, the amount of bee pollen that we've added in the cluster is pretty less. So, I mean, is it for the taste or is it?
It is. It's a balance, okay? Because if we put too much of it in, it's going to overshadow the fennel. So we don't want that.
Understood.
We just want it to be a hint. I'm also going to use a little bit as decoration. So when I finish at the end, I'll put a little bit more in just to enhance that. So I'm just melting that coconut oil again. So let's turn this right down now. That's it. I don't want that to be too hot. It's going to go into the liquid, so just need to be careful. Right. So let's have a look, see how we're getting on. Those two go in there. So, ooh, it smells. A little sniff. Yeah, so we've got some nice heat there, which is good. Just make sure that iota's mixed well. Okay, and then we're going to just pop this one off. I've been reliably informed not to put this on without a pan on it, so I'll try my best not to. Let's put you there. Switch that out. And get that back onto the heat. Okay, so the rest of the ingredients in here then. So we've got the almond. So what we've got now, we've got our liquids. I'm going to bring that back to 40 degrees, roughly. And then we're going to shake in our iota sugar mixture prep container. So we've got our iota, we've got our coconut oil. Everything we need is ready. We're going to pass this, okay? So we want to make sure that we get that ginger out. So what we're going to do is just pass it through a sieve and make sure that's clean. I'm going to pop this underneath. All right, so this is now up, it's hot. We're going to shake in. So the worst thing you can do is allow this to form clumps.
Okay.
Which is part of the reason we're putting it with sugar. Okay, so we're going to add that in. We're going to add in the oil. But I want to make sure that is really thoroughly blended. Nothing on the bottom, nothing around the edge.
So when we are replicating what a pastry cream is?
Yeah, so this would, in essence, this is a panna cotta.
Correct.
So it's not aerated, it's not starch thickened. It is an emulsion, if you like. So we've got the fat from the coconut, we've got fat from the milk, and we've got water from the milk as well. So the iota will help to stabilise and to emulsify and bring together those ingredients. So we've added the oil. You can see now the oil is blended. It's not sitting on the surface any longer. So we're just going to heat that through. We want to bring that back to the boil. Can I get one of you to stir that for me when I get the dishes? And I know we've got beautiful china for our dishes to go into, so we're going to use those just because it's it looks more modern. It gives us a fresh look.
Correct.
We could set this in a container. If you wanted to put it into a mold, set it, and then turn it up, that would work.
Okay.
But we're going to serve it almost as a kind of savoury look, but not really.
It's smelling divine.
Okay, so once it comes to the boil, we're going to pour it into here. How's your arm muscles doing?
Oh, after the
Takes you back, right?
Back to school.
So I'm just using the muslin just because I want to take out the ginger. And the ginger was quite fine. Oh, there's my sieve. Right in front of me. That's it. That's it, that's fine. It's boiling. Stop whisking. You can see the bubbles, yeah? Let's push it through. All at once. We actually maybe didn't need the muslin because that sieve looks pretty fine.
Right.
That's it, pull it out. So, and then I'll take the spatula from you. That's it, thank you. And then we'll just force this through. You did such a good job at grating the ginger. There's not going to be a lot left. A tiny bit, look at that.
Yeah.
But it's all about palate, you know. The mouth is really important. You want the mouthfeel to be smooth. There we go, right. So there's our little tiny bit of ginger left there. So we're just going to pull the muslin together. Give it a little force. Just get that last bit out. There we go. If you have any bubbles, you can just break those or bring them to the side. Do you know what? Let's do it with the jug, because if I do make a mess, it's awful to clean up. Okay, and generally speaking, it depends on who you're serving, obviously.
Yeah.
About 80 grams is enough for a portion, because we have other things going on here. So
Right.
we want enough to see it, but not so much that our clients or our family struggle to eat it.
Yeah.
And this is a cool little bowl. This is a double wall bowl.
Very cool.
It's one of my favourites. I like those. I've got cups in the same style with a double wall. In the winter, we do things like mulled wine in it.
Yeah.
So it just keeps it warm without you burning your fingers. Enough? Okay. Let's pop those in the fridge.
Sure.
Okay, we've got a shelf in there. Do you want to put them away?
Sure.
So next, we're going to go back to those. Could you just tell me, are they still hot?
No.
Perfect. That's what I wanted. As if by magic. All right. So we're going to make little nut clusters with this.
Right.
So this is a product called Almond Inspiration Chocolate. And as the name suggests, it is using almonds as the base. You've got this lovely colour.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's by a company called Valrhona. It is a vegan chocolate, but it has a white chocolate taste. Okay, I know you guys snuck a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
It's obviously not suitable for people with nut allergies. What did you think of it? Did you like it?
I think it was very distinctive. Very, very distinctive.
Yeah.
You could taste white chocolate and a little bit of caramelized white chocolate. It just was, the taste was very, very like well balanced, and the almond was tasting too good.
Now, obviously, because it's an almond base, it's got a good flavour profile going on here, but we want to make sure that the flavour is the most important thing. So although it is a premium product and it's hard to get hold of, it's suitable for use for vegans. And if we wanted to use a regular white chocolate, we couldn't, because it has milk products.
Correct.
So there are other vegan white chocolates on the market. They won't be this colour because this is the almond inspiration.
Color, yeah.
But any vegan white chocolate will do. So what I've done is I am starting the tempering process here. So I've melted my chocolate to 50 degrees. I've let it cool. Okay, so this is cooled to about 26. And then I'm adding my toasted products in.
Right.
Okay, so I'm not doing a full temper, but I'm starting to crystallize. So if you want to stir that in for me.
Sure.
Let's do about 2/3 to start us off, and then we'll add the rest, okay? And then we're going to make little clusters using our spoon. Maybe 2 spoons is the way to go. And what we want to do with this is make little rocks. So, you know, obviously if you're giving these to family and friends, you can make them bigger.
Right.
But we need to balance ours on the place of dessert, so it needs to be quite small. Otherwise,
just make it at rocks and also like eat it salad, because it's so flavorful.
Yeah, I mean, you could roll it even if you wanted to put it between 2 sheets of paper. Roll it
Make
out,
like
break
box.
it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we're looking for enough so that we don't have a abundance of chocolate. So we need probably at least half of that.
Right.
Oh, there you go again. Me, not you.
Yeah, is this good to go, Chef?
Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. All right, maybe a little bit more.
Sure.
Do you know what? Let's be decadent and throw it all in. There we go.
Okay.
Hang on to that one, you're going to need that. So, okay. See now how it's holding together, but there's not an ooze of chocolate?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do here, we're going to make little rocks. This is a bit big. Right. So, again, depending on what you put in here, depends on the final look. So we want almost like little teaspoons. Just push those off.
Got it.
Okay, no bigger than that, okay, and about the same height if you can make it, because this is going to balance my twirl on. Put that in there, so bring it together, make sure you're happy with the shape, okay?
Yeah.
Just like that. If I can leave that for you.
Sure.
Amazing. All right, so mind your where you're standing, that's it. Okay, do you want to whisk the twirl? Let's grab another whisk. So for our twirl, a twirl is a type of cookie. It's a very thin cookie, okay? And traditionally it takes its shape from the roof tiles in France, which are like little curved circles. So today we're making a plant-based version. So instead of the traditional egg white, we're using aquafaba, okay, or pea protein or any of the liquid substitutes. We're using plant-based butter, which we're just melting. We have icing sugar, we have flour. So we're going to make a little well in the middle. There's so many. Don't mix, don't mix, don't mix. Don't want to mix until we've got everything in, okay? Otherwise you're going to make a very big mess. There we go. That one in. And then just draw that together, okay? Bring it together, that's it. So start in the middle, work your way out. That's it, good, nice. And it's really quick to make, very, very quickly you get a nice shape, okay? So we're going to just pop that into the fridge. Just make sure the sides are mixed. So we need this to be a little bit thicker. So we're going to cool it down. All right, so while you're finishing off,
yeah,
we're going to go ahead, we're going to make our gel. Okay, so we're going to be using a combination of ingredients. So we've got celery juice, which is this lovely green. I'm going to put it straight into a jug because Unlike a conventional gel, which would be using pectin, we're using a different stabilizer. We've got apple juice, okay, so we've blended apple juice, celery and ginger, okay, which is it's quite a fresh combination. We don't want it to be too mild, we want it to be quite punchy because we're not going to use very much of it. Okay, then we've got a product, if we look at the recipe, you're going to see there's a product called neutral glaçage.
Yeah.
Okay, so neutral glaçage is the sweetener in here. And this is usually a pectin base. Whoops. I've added a little bit of lime juice in there just to sharpen up the flavour a wee bit. And then I'm adding a touch of ascorbic acid. So the ascorbic acid does the same thing as lime and lemon. However, it doesn't add the flavour.
Okay.
So it adds the acidity to the sides of the tongue, but no flavour of fruit. So I'm adding that in to sharpen it up. And then finally, we're using this product called Gel Creme Cold. Okay, so this is the powder that's going in. And what this does, it has the ability to stabilise and thicken water-based or fat-based products. Okay. So I could make a thickened oil, like an infused oil with basil or something, and I could thicken it with this and it would be a sauce.
Wow.
Okay, so it's quite a neat product. For this, if we were traditionally using ingredients, we would have to heat this.
Right.
And as soon as you heat this, it starts losing flavour and colour. What I want is the purity. So the Gel Creme Cold does exactly that, but we need to use a stick blender or an immersion blender to mix this in. So we're going to pop that in, get it running. Right, that's all in. Okay, and then we need to let this activate. So it needs time to activate. I don't want to put too much aeration in that because that's not the name of the game here. I'm going to pour this onto the tray. You can see how green it is. Look at that. It's already thickening, actually. Look.
Yeah.
It's already starting to thicken. So we'll just let that carry on hydrating. So it's like any of those powders, they need to hydrate. So we'll just leave it there, and then before we use it, we're going to whisk it back, so knock it back. So the compote, we're going to use some of the gel once this is thickened, but we're going to put some fresh cut fruits and vegetables in. So we have apples, we have celery, we have a little bit of ginger. We're going to cut those ready to present our dishes. So if we can get the apples and the cutting ready. Can you make space in the fridge?
Sure. Okay.
Okay, with the celery we need to wash it, peel it obviously.
Correct.
And then we're making all of them fine dice. So any browned parts of the apple, discard the core.
Right.
And then go from there, okay?
Sure.
So I don't need to show them how to cut because obviously they've graduated Cordon Bleu, so they should know how to do that without chopping their fingers off, hopefully. We'll see. I'm hoping they've been practicing since they left us. All right, I'll shut up because I'm going to stop you concentrating.
Chef, not the knife skills for sure, but yes, you taught us well.
Okay. So the next thing we're going to do while you're busy doing that is I'm going to make some of my decorations.
Okay.
So this is part of the aesthetics. It gives us a bit more flavour. So what we have is we've got a little bit more apple juice. And you can see the apple juice is actually quite brown. Although it had a little bit of lemon water added to it, it's still quite brown. I'm going to add some of the celery. Give that a little swish around so we get all the fibre. And I'm hoping this is going to come out as a slightly green colour, which is what we're after. Now, for this, what we're doing is we want to have a foam. We're going to try and make a very lightly aerated foam. So these are all the trend at the moment, having aeration and bubbles trapped on top of desserts and on top of cocktails even. You know, mixologists are using this technique quite a lot. In London on our innovation programme, we have a foam kit, which is it basically aerates and it will set. Obviously travelling, I can't bring the whole kit that we use, so we're having to revert to some classical techniques. So we're going to use an immersion blender with this. So what I've got is I've got caster sugar, little flavour going on. And then finally, I'm using this product. It's called Sucre Emol. And it's a type, as the name suggests, it's a type of emulsifier. So emulsification in plant-based pastry is really important because often in classical pastry, you would use egg, gelatin, any of those classical emulsifiers. In plant-based, you have to find an alternative. Okay?
Right.
So products like this are great, as are natural emulsifiers.
Right.
Okay, so things like guar gum, Tylose powder, all of those, they're really handy to use, but you want to make sure the purity of flavour comes through. So this one is really good. It doesn't interrupt the flavour at all. It will thicken it slightly, but not a lot, which we don't really want it to thicken.
Right.
So what I want to do is just make sure that powder is well dispersed. And then I'm going to pop this into a jug ready, because later I'm going to need to use the immersion blender. But we need to let this come back to the boil first. Okay. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chill this on a tray so it chills quicker. So we can use this tray. So once it's boiled, put it onto the tray. Come back to that in a sec. So onto the tray to cool. And if I had some food colouring, I might be tempted to add just a dot of green food colour, just to give us a nicer colour, because it looks a little bit like a little bit muddy. It's not as pure. You see the difference?
Yeah.
One cooked, one not.
Yeah.
Big
Completely
difference in
changes
colour.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's using the right ingredient for the right task. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is going back to that twill batter that's been in the fridge. You can see it's nice and firm. So it's firmed up well. I'm going to apply this to my design. Now, we were talking a little bit this morning about the new technology we've got on the Pastry Innovation programme. So in London, if we were doing this in London, we could use a 3D printer to do this, which,
That's mandala.
yeah, much better using a 3D printer.
Yeah.
It's a bit big to get in my carry-on though, so we don't have one of those here. So we're going back to traditional methods, which is this. Remember this, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so this is our piping bag. Exactly. So we're going to apply our twill using a piping bag. But if we had technology, we'd be able to use the 3D printer to do the same thing. Works really well. It's a good application for it. Okay.
Right.
And I've chosen the design mainly because of where I am. Okay, so this is what you explain a little bit. Go on.
So that's mandala. Basically, it has got some spiritual and religious value in Hinduism and Buddhism. So it's mainly like I have at least seen people use it for meditation, prayers, and things like that. So it's holy for us. So thank you, Chef.
I really hope I've not upset anybody by doing this.
No, not at all, Chef.
This, to be fair, this was my version of a mandala. I drew that. Nobody else has done that.
Plant-based, so you're just like not.
I drew that. Nobody else has that mandala apart from me. Nobody else would probably want it, but
Making all the gods happy.
yeah. Oh, I hope so. So we're going to add that into our bag. Okay, how are we getting on? We're not far off what we need, I don't think.
Yeah.
Pretty much done it. So with this, we're using no nozzle. I'm just snipping a hole in the end. And then I'm going to take...
Yeah. Isn't that water?
Let's go cut that slightly bigger for the internals. The good thing about doing things like this, you can make it whatever you want, and your skill level can be adjusted.
Correct.
You know, if you've got staff who aren't very good at piping, you can make this a lot simpler than it is.
Right.
I'd like to think I'm all right at piping.
You're being modest.
Okay, we'll do internal. All right, so if we get a bowl, we're going to put the two together in a bowl. Let's balance them a little bit. So if we can mix about twice the amount of apple to the celery.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. We're going to get this into the oven. It takes about 10 minutes to cook. Pastry Innovation and Wellness Program is really about taking classical techniques and making them more consistent and labour saving for sure. You know, in modern times, having the right workforce in the kitchen is really hard to come by. But it also uses modern equipment, so things have moved on a lot since everybody had to pipe their stencils like this, I'm relieved to say. So one of the other cool things we do on the Pastry Innovation and Wellness is we have our cry cut machine, which cuts stencils. So I could have done this as a flat stencil, but I think the 3D looks better. Okay, so what we're going to do, if we grab a baking tray, I'm going to pop this onto a baking tray. And because it's a fan oven, I'm going to put, you can see the design. Just about see it on the back.
Yeah.
I'm going to pop that there. I'm going to put some magnets on this, just to make sure this doesn't fly around in the oven. That would be really bad.
Those magnets look familiar.
Yeah, they do. I've been collecting these for the last 3 years.
Spoiled so many things because I used to always forget putting the magnets on in the.
You only do it once and then you won't do it again, I tell you. Put these on just because they're heavier. All right, not sure what else to do to make that stay, but maybe a spoon or two, that would help. If in doubt, put spoons on it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get that in. Let's set, what should we say, 7 minutes? Let's check the colour, just like, yeah. So this is our gel. So you can see it's nice and green, lovely and green colour. I'm going to mix a little of the gel into the compote, the fruits, and what this will do is it will help coat it and make sure it doesn't start to oxidise. A bit more than that. Just make sure they're all coated.
Yep.
So if we've got a piece like that, just take the outside, as they are quite big leaves, or we've got little ones. Okay?
Yep.
Cool. Keep going with that. Just tilt it slightly so it's half out, okay?
Got it.
Okay, go again. A bit more.
Yep.
Go back to the fridge. Okay, you can scoop off if you've got a nice.
Yeah.
keep going, yeah, a bit more. So, these ones are a little bit bigger. Don't mind. Just put 4 in. Let's go for a smaller one. You can see that nice green colour. Just says famous last words. Let's get these down here. This is still hot, so I need to let it cool down. There we go.
Yeah.
It's hot, even if you think it's not. This is just the bee pollen going on. Just a few little crunchy bits.
Right.
Make sure it's centered. And then we have your foam right in the middle. It's a little surprise underneath. And that's our,
Did not want to touch that piece, chef. It just looks like a piece of art.
that's our little apple, ginger and celery mandala.
Wow.
Thank you for your help. Couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you. Thank you.